Welcome to the Couch of Randomness, episode number 4. This is your weekly podcast for all that random and weird geeky stuff in the world. I'm your host, John, and on the couch with me, of course, is...
Rose.
On this week's podcast, let's talk about Ready Player One.
Let's talk about some new things that Netflix has announced.
You know what? We always have to do our facepalm of the week.
And what's the difference between an animated movie and a live action with tons of CG?
That's a good question. So sit down on the couch and let's have some fun. So Ready Player One.
The movie.
The movie, not the book. Even though the book's really good too, actually.
I'm sure we'll talk about the book too a little bit.
We'll probably talk about the book a little bit. So we saw Ready Player One. We did a real break, and we both said it's a see it ASAP.
Yes.
A couple days removed now. Is it still see it ASAP?
I think it's worth seeing in theaters.
Yeah, I do too. I think...
Because I think the big screen, the sounds... I mean, Spielberg does know how to make a movie for theaters.
Yes, I agree. I don't think I would change it from see it ASAP, but if we had a just see it... Well, I guess
that's see it on the cheap.
See it on the cheap.
See it on the cheap is see it in theaters, but see it a little cheaper.
See, and that's the thing. I don't think it matters. I think it just so I would stay with see it ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like, it was very interesting watching this movie to me because one, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And we both were like, well, how are they going to change the book to fit this movie?
Obviously they had to. There were too many things that were too slow. Like they even skipped through it in the book.
Yes. There were a lot of things that skipped through the book.
Because like they go through and they have to quote a couple different movies. He has to play all the way through a few different games, and just, you can't spend an entire movie doing that.
Yeah. So that makes sense, cutting that stuff out. For me, like you said, the movie one, that was in the book, the second gate. Help me with that one, because you remembered you read the book more recently than I have. And the gate and the keys were two different things.
Okay, so what you had to do was you had to complete a challenge so that you would get the key. And then the key would give you a clue to the gate. You had to complete a challenge, and then the gate would open, and there would be something in the gate that you had to complete to get the clue to the next key.
That's right.
So like there were like 6 different steps in the book.
Yeah, and
they had to take out half of those.
Yeah, because you're right.
But like there were 2 movies that they went all the way through. There was an entire scene from Blade Runner.
The entire movie of War Games. That was one of the challenges.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the entire movie of War Games, the entire movie of Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail.
That's right.
Yeah, you always forget that one.
I always forget that one. And I know the first challenge was Joust. Or what? Like,
to get the first key, you had to play basically a perfect game of Joust. No, not perfect. But you had to play Joust.
Yeah. There was no race, and
yeah, the race in the very
beginning of the movie
to get the key.
Yeah,
that was not in the book at all.
And I was like, all right,
in any form or fashion. And like, I thought it was very interesting that they changed Wade from being penniless, even in the Oasis, because suddenly in the movie he actually had money. He could go around places.
Yeah.
Like he spent money on a haircut, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
In the book, he had no money. He went with a base avatar. He had kind of basic clothes.
Yeah,
he couldn't transport to different planets.
Worlds. Yeah, different planets. And yeah, until he won the first challenge.
Yeah.
And then he got a lot of money, and then he started being able to like upgrade some of his stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. It's like they kind of had Wade
a
little
also,
more than
like,
your average
Wade
Joe.
Wade and H were in their senior year in high school. So, I mean, they took that out of the movie completely.
Yeah.
Artemis was in college.
Yeah, there's all sorts of just random stuff, which, you kind of know they had to throw out.
Yeah, and like the other one thing that I think they could have left was that H and Wade were actually the same age.
Yeah.
They changed that in the movie.
I'm with you. They could have
found somebody that was younger.
Yeah. And in the movie, what was but Artemis? Because like in the movie, it seems like she is the leader of a rebellion.
Yeah, she's not.
And she's not in the book.
No,
like,
not at all. Like there was nothing about a rebellion.
Yeah.
In the book, like at all.
It was just kind of weird how they did that. And I was like, I didn't think about that until now. I'm like, wait.
It was also weird to me that all of the Halliday scholars in the movie were all kids.
Yeah. There weren't like people.
There weren't any adults. And I'm just there like, but the adults are the ones that lived through this.
Yeah. That could remember that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. I never thought about that. And I will admit, like, some stuff that I did like that they changed. I am glad they changed the movie because people probably would have slept through War Games.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad they changed it to...
I mean, they couldn't... They probably also didn't want to get the rights.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how many rights they got. So many rights.
It was awesome.
Just because it was Spielberg. Just because Spielberg probably personally called people and was like,
I'm sure.
Hey, can I borrow this? And
yeah.
they're like, absolutely. Yeah. You 100% can. And I liked... Because I know in the book, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know in the book, like, Wade had an old laptop, but had teraflops of information about.
He even had a hard copy of his journal.
Yeah,
of his Halliday journal.
Halliday's journal. That's right.
Like he printed out paper copies of a bunch of things. Also in the book, the Oasis was actually downloaded to a computer. In the movie, it seemed like it was all integrated in the visor.
And it was all like cloud-based, getting really nerdy. It was, and that's one thing. Like in the trailers, that's what kind of got me. I'm like, I don't know about this movie because I'm with you because it all needed to be hooked up into something, like a computer base and not just cloud
computer, laptop, something.
Which now looking back on it,
I mean, I don't have a problem with them changing that.
I don't have a problem changing it. It was just weird. Yeah. But I do like that they had, instead of Wade having Halliday's journals and the teraflops downloaded onto a computer, it was an actual haul.
I understood why they changed that, but it was also a little bit because everything in the book is very much, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's very like not group based. It's very self-oriented. Mm-hmm. And so they changed a lot of that in the movie, honestly.
They did. You're absolutely right. It was a very more team-based.
Daito and Shoto are not friends with everybody in the book.
No. They put up...
Not until much later they'd become allies.
Yeah, it seemed like in the book they at least put up with Wade. Like, for a little bit...
I mean, they were allies.
They were allies. And
they were allies, but like in the movie, they were friends from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, they had already met.
They'd met, and it was interesting how they did that, because... I mean, there were so many questions I had going into this movie. How are they going to do this? How are they going to portray this?
Yeah.
That one, I was like, all right, I get it. That's cool. Let's just roll on. But I mean, we're one of the ones that like, we understand adaptations don't work quite right.
And I feel like they did a good job with changing it because like we went to see it with your sister.
Yeah.
And she was still able to follow everything that went on.
Yeah, she got most of the references.
Hey, she got a lot of the references. I'm not worried about the references. I'm worried about the story.
And the story, and she followed it really well and could understand, like, just at the base level what the story was, and she enjoyed it even more so than I anticipated. I thought she was like, that's fun. No, she really liked the movie.
Yeah, like she was laughing through a lot of it.
So I think that's cool because you do have to. That's where I find it very interesting. People like read the books, who fall in love with the books first, get really pissed off when like Hollywood gets their hands on one of their books, and you like, well, it's not going to be the same. You're right. Of course not. You had 8, 10, 12, 15 hours to read this book. Yeah. I'm going to take your book and cram it into 2.5 hours. I'm going to have to change some stuff. I mean, even in Harry Potter, I still hate Half-Blood Prince, and I still hate the maze. I hate the maze.
The maze is the worst.
In 4, and I legitimately just do not like the movie of Half-Blood Prince because I love the book too much. Yeah. But with what they did for Ready Player One, when we're walking out, we said the care was still there. The essence of that book was still understandable, which is a feat within itself. In my book, I'm like, wow, that's really impressive that they pulled that off.
Yeah. My other question with this movie is how well will it age? Because here's the thing. In the book, like the entire world, because Halliday grew up in the 80s, the entire world was stuck in the 80s. Like 70s and 80s, maybe into the early 90s.
Okay.
And so many of the references in this movie are so much more recent.
That is a valid point. Yeah. I didn't think
because like the book I feel like is going to age pretty well because they're just like, oh, this is the 80s. Everything is set in the 80s. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But like the movie, they had much more recent, like as recent as Overwatch.
Yeah. Tracer's in there a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like they tried to stay with the bigger nerdy things.
Yeah.
Because those will always be around.
Like the ones that you'll know, like you're right. Because people know RoboCop. RoboCop's in the movie.
Yeah. Gandalf.
Chucky.
Yeah.
I mean, the big ones. Yeah. But you're right. The little
I was about to say something that was going to be a big spoiler. I won't.
Yeah. The quicker ones, like
yeah.
Tracer's in there twice or almost 3 times, I think.
Or like the Halo Master Chief.
Yeah, there's a
army.
couple Master Chiefs.
That's in the trailer. That's not a spoiler.
There was one more that I'm like, wow, they actually put that in there. And can I?
No. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, I was about to say it. No.
How can we say this like without like looking at each other? Like,
does it start with an S?
No. Mine starts with a T.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
then.
so I'll say because it was I didn't think they would, or I was weirded out that they did this. Was Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh,
like they were in there, and I was like, whoa,
just briefly.
Yeah, they were briefly. Well, they weren't a big characters, but
I mean, the Turtles are old enough that they could have been in the book.
That's true. They are kind of timeless in that sense. I was kind of like, you chose Michael Bay's.
They were probably easiest to animate since they're already set.
That's man, high five to you for thinking. That's a good one. But yeah,
we'll get into that further.
I liked Ready Player One.
Yeah.
I will buy it. I actually really enjoyed the movie, but you have valid points on how is it actually going to age.
Yeah.
Like, because it's Spielberg to a T. Like the animation, not the animation, but the cinematography.
Yeah.
That Spielberg magic that I literally thought he had none left of after his like 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm like, Spielberg, you had your time. Thank you for being one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you lost your magic with The Post and Indiana Jones and there was a couple others that I'm like, wow, Spielberg.
Even
like,
Tintin was a little questionable.
Yeah, Tintin was a little questionable, but somewhere he pulled something out and was like, I'm Spielberg, I've got this magic, and here it is. It's not going to be for everyone, but God bless it. Did I really? It was a lot of fun on my face when I left that theater.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a while since I had a smile on my face leaving a theater.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long while.
Well, you smiled at the end of Tomb Raider.
Oh, that's true. I did. I enjoyed Tomb Raider.
You enjoyed Tomb Raider.
I enjoyed Tomb Raider. That's a good point.
Yeah. You're just so distracted with what we saw last week. What did we see last week? Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, yeah. A good point. We have to go through our notes. What did we see last week? I don't remember. I thought you were talking about something else, and I was like, oh.
But no, continuing with Spielberg, I'm really excited because Tintin is still a thing.
Yeah. Who knew? The Adventures of Tintin.
The news came out this week. Adventures of Tintin, they're still going to do a sequel. Because like it was Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson are the ones who originally said, hey, let's make all these movies. And
well, yeah, it's set up as a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a trilogy.
Okay.
And like they did this so long ago that they got the rights from Hergé himself, who he passed away. He's the author.
Okay. I was like, come on, what?
He passed away in like the 70s or 80s.
Wait, Spielberg got the rights that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Like they have had the rights for forever.
Oh, geez.
For Tintin. So I'm very excited that they're finally like making this into an animated movie, especially because it's a comic book.
Yeah, it's a comic book. And like, I think you liked Tintin, the movie, better than I did.
I did.
I thought it was fun.
I still haven't read that many Tintin comic books, but because he's so well known in France, and I know that he's actually Belgium.
Yeah.
But
I find that very interesting because I mean, it literally is. It was Spielberg's movie What did we find out? Like 2013-ish, 2012?
I think so.
Something
I think
like
it came
that.
out in 2013.
And then it was supposed to be Jackson, and then Jackson had to put it on hold because Guillermo del Toro walked away from doing the Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter Jackson, in his Peter Jackson ways, decided to make the Hobbit a trilogy.
Ugh. Worst decision.
And then
it's
now
the shortest book.
It's just really funny that, yeah, like you said, like Steven Spielberg goes, oh yeah, we're still doing Tintin. Peter Jackson's going to start it here in the next year.
So we might see it as early as 2020.
2020?
I think 2021 is what it said.
Probably 2021.
Yeah, because it takes because I mean he's just going to be starting the script. That'll take a little bit of time, and then it's like 2 to 3 years to animate it. So it's going to take a while.
I want to know if what's his name is going to be still doing Tintin. What's the
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell. If Jamie Bell does it, I'm in again. We'll still go see it anyway. But I think
we would see it anyway.
Jamie Bell.
Yeah,
is fan freaking tastic. I actually like the guy.
I know.
You know what?
What?
I'm looking at our podcast thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna do something for. Let's do the facepalm of the week real fast.
Okay.
I'm gonna cram 2 of them in there. I'm gonna cram.
Okay.
2 of them in there. Let's start with the one that made this hard for us.
Yes.
With the facepalm of the week was just
finding a facepalm.
A facepalm of the week, because we record on Sundays.
Yeah.
And well, as we're recording this, it is April Fool's.
Yes.
We have come to a point in social media
and society in general.
Yeah, in general. We can't really tell what's real and what's fake anymore.
Like, what's the practical joke for April Fool's? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, zoom tight.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, we're going through and like, all right, how about this? This might be a good facepalm. Wait, is that actually true? It's April Fool's.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I can't tell if this is real or not.
Yeah, even if you go down to the bottom of like, if they write an article, like, no, at the end, April Fool's, because I've had that happen to me. Where like, I literally thought, and this is going to sound really bad, years and years ago, that when Smallville, the TV show, was still a thing, and Superman Returns was coming back, they, like, one of the seasons was going to open with Bryan Singer directing it, and they actually got Brandon Routh to play an alternate version of Clark instead of Tom Welling. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I kept on, like, an hour later, another article popped up on the website I was reading, and it goes, April Fool's. And I literally was like, oh, crap, I forgot that was today.
Yeah.
Forgot.
But no, we've had a lot of that today. Just so many different news articles popping up saying, hey, this is going on, that's going on. And
yeah, Yacht Club doing that thing with the
like Yacht Club, who makes Shovel Knight, which is one of John's favorite games. They came out with like a whole article. They had a trailer. They had screenshots saying that they were in the works, in the process of making Shovel Knight 64. Not for the N64, but for the Commodore 64, the best-selling computer of all time.
Ooh.
And like they had this whole article about it and didn't say anything about April Fool's.
No. And with the resurgence of like retro gaming.
Yeah, with so many retro games, and like you can go like one of the pawn shops that we go to, it's gaming store.
It's a gaming store.
They actually have a ton of homebrew cartridges for like the not so much the N64, but like for the SNES, and the Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo.
Yeah, but they sell some homebrewers that you can actually use, and this could.
And I was like, for half a second, I was just like, is the Commodore 64 still getting games made for it, like these homebrew games?
Yeah,
like that was my thought process, and then I was just like, no, this has to be an April Fool's.
It has to be an April Fool's, and then watch next week. It's actually going to be something real, but I doubtful. Like who minus me wanting to get a Commodore 64.
Yeah,
I'm sure people still collect it, but I don't. I'm with you. It's just so weird that like we have to take a quick pause of going.
When we have real people who are serial poopers and are trying to clog women's toilets
in Wisconsin. Yes, that is something.
Overnight. This is a real one.
This is a real one. And then you have Yacht Club making the
I'm just
Shovel
like,
Knight 64.
Which one is more probable?
Yeah, and you're like, I cannot tell what's real.
Yeah,
and it's strange to do that.
It's very hard to tell.
Like it's almost like next year during April Fool's, I'm just gonna turn off my phone.
Pretty much,
because I can't tell. Like if any Nintendo news or any any news that dropped today,
Yeah.
I'd literally take it with a full grain of salt and not until
I've seen a couple things like the Harvest Moon game that's coming for the Switch.
Oh yeah.
Like for half a second, I was just like, okay, this cover art looks a little sketch. Hey, John, is this a real game?
Yeah, and
it is.
It is.
It is.
Is that what I said?
Or
did you look it up?
No, you said it,
I
and then I looked it up a little bit
Okay.
more. From what I can tell, it is a real game.
Yeah, because I was like, I know there's a Harvest Moon game that they're trying to make. Like, there's so many things like out in the wild that I'm like, I don't remember if that is real or not.
And then you have like Think Geek selling Klingon alphabet magnets for your fridge, which is apparently an April Fool's thing. Which as a Trekkie and coming from Think Geek, I'm just there like, what do you mean this is April Fool's?
That actually sounds like something they would do.
Exactly. I was just like, what?
Part of me wonders.
So, I don't know.
Part of me wonders if April Fool's is one of those days where we're like, all right, guys, let's throw this into the wild, see if it gets a little bit of traction, and if people like it enough, let's go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was an idea.
Like, I've seen the same things on Twitter with some indie devs that I follow. They're just like, man, there are all these big game studios that are announcing these hoax games, and that's actually the game that I'm making.
Ouch.
And I'm just there like, oh, that has to hurt.
Oh, God. That sucks.
Yeah.
That'd make me feel, that sucks. I would hate that. Another facepalm of the week that I've just decided, you know what? I'm going to make it a facepalm.
Okay.
I'm going to make this if you cannot tell, we love video games. If you definitely
just
cannot
in case
tell,
you couldn't tell.
we love the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
The little Nintendo that could, pretty much is what it's become. And now everyone wants to be on the Switch and everyone wants to have a Switch.
Yeah.
Don't buy a third-party dock.
No.
Do not do that, please. No. Because Nintendo literally came out and said, we don't test them. So anything that we update, it might break your Switch.
It could break your Switch.
And you're like, oh God, really?
Yeah.
So like, it sucks. I get it. I get it from a standpoint of Nintendo going, you know what? It's our system.
Yeah, this is our proprietary information, which is kind of how they've always been.
Which is fine. And like, this is our dock. Use our dock. Don't use any other dock unless it is a Nintendo branded dock.
Yeah. But I get that.
And I get that, but it sucks because I mean, like, there's Nyko.
There's so many better docks out there.
Yeah, that's honestly an ugly dock.
It's so ugly.
Nintendo, you need to give me something for fans on the back because it overheats.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I told you all of that overheating thing. Literally pulled it out after playing Mario Odyssey on the Switch for recording Couch Capades.
It's so hot.
And it was on fire. Yeah. Like, I had to put it down.
It's too hot.
It gets way too hot in there. I'm one of the ones that had my Switch slightly bend. Like, it's slightly warped because I left it in the dock for too long.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, you can't really tell, but like, I was like, wait, this is weird. And oh crap, it is slightly bent.
Because it's overheated. It's
overheating. So Nintendo, flip that dock, make it better.
Please.
But also don't, like, we have a third-party dock that we've used once on my Switch.
And we're never using it again.
Never using it again. And it sucks too that you can't even use the third-party USB-C. Like, Nintendo even said, don't even use that. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, we have Note 8s that uses USB-Cs.
Yeah.
And we could
and we can't use the same
plug. Yeah, we can't use the same plug.
We can't use the same cord because who knows if it'll break the Switch.
It would break the Switch if it'll get enough juice. This almost freaks me out because I was thinking about actually getting an extended battery for the Switch.
Yeah.
The one that's like 2.5 times that leaves the Switch on.
Exactly.
And I was like, I might do that because I really want to, like, I've gotten used to playing the Switch in handheld mode.
Right.
But no, now I can't. I'm legitimately afraid. And I know it sucks, but I'm also like, I'm okay with spending a little more money on first party that I know is tested and it works.
Right.
But it sucks for like Nyko, and I think we've got an Insignia dock. I think that's where we got it from, like Best Buy.
Something.
But it just sucks because, I mean, this crap's expensive.
It is.
Nintendo is not cheap.
No.
I think they even came out and said the Joy-Con like chargers, I would be careful of those too.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, well, that sucks because we are a house of 1,000 Joy-Con as well.
Yeah.
Pair, looking at you.
But no, like a side note with that, I actually saw an article. I didn't research it very much, but Nintendo has so much money right now that they could actually survive at a loss until 2052.
They got back that much.
They have that much money.
Because I remember that article, an article like that came up a couple years ago when the Wii U was dying. Like literally, Wii U is a failure, absolute failure. And everyone did the math.
Yeah.
And it was like, Nintendo can run at a loss for another like 12 years and still be perfectly fine until they actually start needing to panic. But
I mean, 12 years. That's insane.
That's insane. But now
it's even longer.
Yeah. That's nuts to me.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if back, like, someone's gonna write a book, someone has to write a book about the rise, fall, and rise again of Nintendo.
I mean, let's give it another few years to see how much it really gets into.
Yeah, because if the Switch becomes the best-selling console, or handheld, I don't know how you'd actually, because it's both. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But that would be quite amazing.
Yeah,
quite amazing indeed.
It would.
So let's talk about Netflix again.
Okay.
God, Netflix, what are you doing to us?
Netflix!
You're giving us awesome TV is what you're doing.
So much awesome TV.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. So, Rose, tell me what got renewed.
Queer Eye.
Queer Eye got renewed. Yes. And that is amazing.
I'm so excited. I love this show. Like, I liked the original. But this second one, like the revamp, it's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Like, I will admit, I laughed at you, and I'm like, "What are you watching?" And
I was just like, "I'm watching Queer Eye."
I'm like, first I was like, "Why?" Because I didn't know there was a rebooted Netflix version. So I'm like, "You know that show's like 10 years old, right?" I don't know why. I mean, that's fine. And I was like, I just let you go. And then one day you actually made me sit down and watch one of the episodes. I was just like,
no, you need to watch this with me.
And my God, it's so good.
Like, the dynamic between the five guys is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And they find such good people, such good guys to make over.
Everyone they've done so far has been that person that you want to help. And they not need the help, but they need that
Some of them need the help.
Some of them need the help, but they need that push for confidence or to do whatever. And it's been absolutely fantastic. And you're right. I like how it's shot. The dynamic of each guy being a specialist in one thing, but how they bleed over and help each other in that sense of, because one guy is good at fashion, the other one
is hairstyle,
and it all just kind of bleeds together.
Food, culture, interior decorating.
Yeah. It's
like, it's fantastic.
It's so good. And I'm like, I can't, when I heard that, like, Rose texted me, I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I love the show. I think it's fantastic. I would do it myself.
Oh, yeah.
I would love.
If you actually needed help, then I would be like, guys, can you please come to Texas?
Yes.
I would write into the show. I really would.
I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, because myself
I would
personally.
love to have wherever we're living revamped by, I'm blanking out on his name. I think it's Anthony. Does
hold on
the design.
It's not giving me names. Crap. I think you're right. No, I think Anthony does this design.
I think it's Anthony that does the design.
And I know Tan is fashion.
Jonathan is hair.
Yes.
I can't think of the culture guy's name.
No. And I can't think of the
food might be Anthony.
I think the food's Anthony.
And so I can't remember. I'm very sorry. I promise I really do love this show. I just watched it so fast that I'm just like, I don't know who's who. I don't care. I love them all.
Exactly. I do too. They're fantastic. I'm not even getting names on this article. That sucks.
Yeah, it's okay.
That sucks. But yes, Queer Eye season 2 is coming.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome. When. We don't know when, but
they might be moving. They might not be in Georgia anymore.
You said that.
They might be going to like Ohio.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Ohio,
I would love it if they were in a different state every season.
Yes.
I think that would be so cool.
That would be really cool too. Just the different dichotomy of cultures.
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'm down with that. So,
something else is coming to Netflix.
Something else is coming to Netflix.
I'm so excited.
Which is weird. I actually, I don't think it's weird, but it's weird that as a person who's wanted to direct a movie, this is a movie I've been wanting to do for the longest freaking time. Because I think it would be such a cool little spy thriller.
So there are actually 2 things coming to Netflix.
That is true. It is 2 things. We are getting... where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I think it's just Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, I think they're just calling it Carmen Sandiego. But
we're getting a live action movie
And a cartoon.
And a cartoon series. The live action movie is a spin-off, but the voice actor for the cartoon series is also playing Carmen Sandiego in the live action.
Yeah, Gina Rodriguez.
Yes.
She won a Golden Globe for Jane the Virgin.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I keep forgetting.
Oh, she was in
so thank
Annihilation.
you. Yeah, we still need to see that.
Oh, we do need to see that. I didn't know that. I'm just skimming this one right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at that. But yeah.
This is what happens when I put articles in.
Yeah, when you put articles, I don't read them.
For our ideas. I'm just like, here, we need to talk about this. And you just read the headline.
I read the headline. I'm like, sounds good, baby.
John's the worst.
That works for me. I am. But no, I'm excited about this. Like, I'm interested to see how they're going to do Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
Like, what style? Is it going to be more kid oriented?
I think it's going to be a little more kid oriented.
Which I'm cool with.
I'm okay with.
It's a kid show.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're making it a cartoon and then make it PG-13-esque, where
PG at
kooky, most. As long as they don't do the Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget.
Ugh. No.
As long as they don't do that style, I'll be okay.
I don't think Netflix will.
I don't think so either. But you
I mean, they
know.
have some quality Netflix on there.
They do have some quality Netflix.
But then they have some really good Netflix like Queer Eye. So
I mean,
we're gonna trust that they have some idea what they're doing.
It's one of those things too. Like, it's weird because you can't really say in Netflix we trust.
No,
because
there are so many different things.
There's so many different things. They hit home runs, and then they just strike out swinging. It's baseball season, so you're gonna get a lot of baseball references from.
It doesn't matter that it's baseball season. No. You're talking to John. You're gonna get baseball.
You're gonna get a baseball
all
reference.
year long.
But yeah, it's very interesting because you're right. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get with Netflix
ever.
Like, it could be just mind blowing and one of the best shows ever, or my God, I'm 10 minutes in and I've already fell asleep.
Yeah, like I watched one of their quality Christmas movies.
I'm sorry.
I had nothing else to do, and I think I was working on stuff for work.
Yeah.
And so I was just like,
was that the one where
it was the Christmas Prince.
The one that Netflix tweeted out.
Yeah, because I was just like, okay, why are this many people watching it this many times? Like once a day or something? Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
Yeah, one person watched it once a day.
No, it was multiple people watched it like once a day for like 18 days straight or something.
Oh, really?
It was not that good.
I know, like, Netflix like trolled everyone just asking, are you okay? Do we need to send help? But
no, it was like over 100 people had watched this, however, like 18 times or something.
Oh my God,
and I'm just there like, this movie is not good.
No,
I mean,
okay,
it's like Hallmark good.
Okay, I was about to ask, like, is it Hallmark good or is it like lower than Hallmark? And if it's lower than Hallmark,
it's like lower end Hallmark.
Oh God, Gesundheit.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez, that sucks because
allergy season is upon us.
I don't like Hallmark movies. At all.
I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched Hallmark because I don't live with your mother.
That's true. Mom loves Hallmark movies.
She does.
So much.
Like, that's her jam.
Yeah. Once Hallmark movie, that's all you can watch at the house is a Hallmark channel. Or Hallmark movie channel. I think that's a channel now.
I think so.
That's the only thing on, and Mom watches every single one of them.
All of them.
And I'm just like,
because she wants to know what's going to happen.
That's true. That's pretty. I want to know what's going to happen. That's what she says. Like, why do you watch this? Because I want to know what's going to happen. Person A is going to fall in love with person B, and Christmas is going to be saved.
Yeah.
I just pretty much summed up all 27 Hallmark movies that are coming out for Christmas. Yeah. That's about it. Or person B is going to be find the Christmas spirit again, and save little Timmy. Because little Timmy fell down that well yet again.
Okay.
So
pretty much. I mean, that's the thing. Just it gets very repetitive.
Yep.
But that was the only one that I watched.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad then.
I think. Yeah. Unless I just completely blacked out my memory, that's the only one that I remember watching.
Good point. Good point. Oh, X-Men. Oh, X-Men. What are you doing to me?
What's going on with the X-Men now?
What are you doing to me? So, I was relatively excited about New Mutants and X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Okay, and those are movies or TV shows?
Movies.
Okay.
They're the new movies that are supposed to come out. New Mutants, they kind of changed the idea of it being a run-of-the-mill superhero movie and went with the horror aspect of it.
Right.
Very dark, kind of actually really cool, and enough attention that I'm like, all right, let me see how this plays out.
Yeah.
That was supposed to come out, the April of this year.
Okay.
2018. It got pushed back to February of 2019.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, that's whatever.
That's a big push.
That's a big push. I wonder, they've got to be adding a new character or something no one liked it and they have to reshoot a lot.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, no one liked it and
they had to reshoot a lot.
They have to reshoot a lot and they're adding a character apparently. I'm like, all right, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
All right, well, at least we have Deadpool coming out in May. Yeah, that's right. I was like, did that get pushed too? No, that's still May.
Yes.
And then X-Men Dark Phoenix is going to come out in November. Yeah, it's supposed to be about November 2nd. And I was like, that's exciting because I've really enjoyed the revamp X-Men movies. Yeah. There's no such thing as X-Men 3 The Last Stand. I don't care who you are. That movie doesn't exist. It's awful. Absolutely just a dumpster fire.
It's one of the worst movies.
Come at me if you think otherwise. And I know one person who actually likes this movie. And if she's listening, I know she is. It's a dumpster fire. It's Brandy. So I was kind of excited. I was like, the director, this would have been his first time directing a movie, if I remember correctly. But he's the one that's been writing the X-Men movies for the past, like the new ones. Okay. So I was like, all right, I'll give him the pass, and at least he understands the characters well enough that I'm good. And then all of a sudden, it got pushed back as well. Yeah. To February. Yeah. So, and then New Mutants got pushed back to August.
That's right.
So New Mutants has gone from being pushed back a year to almost over a year and a half. Ugh. X-Men Dark Phoenix gets pushed back from November to February, which is what, 4 months, 5 months? December, January, February, about 3 to 4 months. Yeah. And I'm just like, why? What's going on? There's something. I mean, you could push back a week or two. That's fine. That's just getting out of the way of other movies.
I'm also curious if they're pushing it back to see what happens with Disney.
I think you're right too.
Like,
I
really feel like they're just going to be like, so Disney's going to pick this up.
Yeah. I want to agree with you. Mm-hmm. One, I didn't put this in our notes. One side rumor is Jessica Chastain is in X-Men Dark Phoenix. Huh. She's supposed to be, she's in it. I've seen the pictures of her in it. The weird rumor I heard literally before we started recording this podcast is she is Miss Sinister, not Mr. Sinister. But John Hamm wants to play Mr. Sinister. Huh. So I'm trying to figure out if there's something.
Is Sinister a Time Lord? And therefore can switch genders?
Funny. I don't remember, actually. No, he's not. No idea. He's not, but
I know.
I'm like, why? But I'm trying to figure out why, because I think you're onto something with that one. Where, because, hey guys, we're gonna do some reshoots because Disney wants us to do it, or Kevin Feige actually goes, "Hey, X-Men, you're coming under the MCU now. Yeah, we're gonna kind of do some stuff because
switch some things around.
Because do some switching some around because if February is X-Men Dark Phoenix, May is Avengers 4. I think we're getting a Marvel movie and another Marvel movie in February as well. MCU movie. Oof. So I'm trying to like my conspiracy theory hat tells me there's something to do with the MCU why everything got pushed back. There could be. Even though like Feige said I'm not even worried about the X-Men. We'll get there when we get there, and it sounded like 2020, 2021 before the X-Men get really like absorbed. I keep on saying absolved and absorbed.
You do.
I switch that around all the time.
I've stopped being confused by it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Because I know that you mean the other one.
I mean the other one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do. And I know I switch those. But I wonder if that is like the little hint of, hey, you're coming in a little bit sooner. And we're gonna do some stuff, and I would
even if it's just laying down the groundwork. Because I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, they haven't brought into the MCU.
In
officially.
in that sense.
They have now with the trailers.
Yeah, but they were the ones that weren't.
With, sorry for the spoiler, but they did with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But like before that, I mean, you know, we knew that they were in the MCU, but we didn't know for sure.
Yeah, we didn't know how they were connected or...
Yeah, we didn't know what realm they were in or if they were in the same realm as anybody else.
Yeah, and while everyone else has been connected some way, or even Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man was in Civil War.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's somehow met someone else minus the Guardians.
Yeah.
Well, minus Gamora. She knows Thanos.
Yeah, but I mean, when you have the bad guy is the one linking.
True. I'll give you that one.
Then.
No, I'll give you that one. I don't know. Yeah, I find that
so I don't hate that.
Very interesting. Oh, another side note, kind of pulling all this stuff together with Marvel and whatnot. Marvel Comics just announced they're bringing back the Fantastic Four. Like the
the comic book?
The comic book Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And because again, grain of salt this one, I heard Marvel stopped the Fantastic Four comic because they didn't have the movie rights to them.
I remember you telling me about that.
So they were like, all right, Fantastic Four is now absolved. They're no longer there. Johnny went with the Guardians, or the Thing went with the Guardians, or something like that.
You know that absolved means to be forgiven for your sins, right?
No, actually, I didn't know that.
To be absolved of sin, it's to be forgiven of your sin.
And that's word porn with Rose.
Whoa, with the word porn.
No, but the Fantastic Four is back. They're making it a comic again, and that's another theory now that they have the rights, Fox rights from Fantastic Four. So maybe they're going to be coming back into the MCU as well too.
They could be.
I don't know. It's getting very crazy when it comes to Marvel.
And I'm okay with them just slowly reintroducing these franchises.
Yeah, I want them to redo Fantastic Four, but introduce them at a stinger somehow, and then just...
I think that would be cool.
I think that's the best way to do it. With X-Men, I want the same cast.
I really would love the same cast, honestly.
I want that.
Like, McAvoy. Thank you. McAvoy and... Fassbender can be Professor X and Magneto for long.
For years.
Like, they can stay there for the next, 10 years.
And then you've got everyone as a young actor.
Actually, even longer.
Yeah. I mean, Ty Sheridan, who is in Ready Player One, is Cyclops.
Yeah.
I mean, you have him for 15, 20 years as well.
And, they don't even have to find a new Wolverine for a while.
Yeah, you don't need Wolverine in there for another 3 or 5 years.
That way we can have our wounds heal.
Exactly.
From
Logan.
losing
Hugh Jackman. Yes, I agree.
We can let our wounds heal.
Yep.
Because we do not have his mutant ability, so we cannot just heal instantly.
The pain's still there.
It is.
It actually really is. I'm 100% with you.
It actually is. I'm very sad about that.
Yes, I 100% sad about that. But yeah, I want the same. And actually, you say that, and I'm like, this would be really interesting, because if Robert Downey Jr. goes, I'm done, I could see Xavier kind of taking that mentor position, because he is.
He is a mentor.
He's a mentor. So I could see McAvoy coming into that position of...
Because, I mean, if we lose Tony and we also lose Cap, then we're going to be without a leader, without somebody to unite everyone for a while.
I'm putting money on Captain Marvel for Cap's place.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think Captain Marvel is going to take Cap's place. I think they lined it up just right to where Chris Evans goes, I'm done. It's been fun. And he literally said, I've got to get off the train before they kick me off.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm pretty sure he's either going to bow out or be killed off in Avengers 4, because it's not Infinity Wars 2, it's Avengers 4.
Oh, you don't think he's going to get killed off in Infinity Wars?
I don't think so. I think we're going to have a weird time thing. I think time's gonna be a very big player in Infinity Wars. I don't think I don't think he'll be killed off in a sense of being killed off in that way. I have my theories.
I would say that's confusing, but it's comic books, and it's always confusing.
Actually, but you know what is confusing?
What?
What's an animated feature film?
It is a feature length, which means that it's going to be over 75 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think 75 minutes is a feature-length film.
Yes, that's what makes it a feature length. And then past that, what is animation anymore?
Yeah, what is animation? That's a good idea. Now you stumbled upon this from, the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
And it literally, the headline is Ready Player One might qualify for Best Animated Feature Oscar consideration. Now let's go out on a limb and say, let's go. Okay, yeah, it's good enough to win an Oscar.
Let's go out on that limb.
I don't think it is. I think visual effects.
Yeah, I think it has a good chance for like visual effects or something like that.
The technical Oscars, I think it has a fantastic chance of at least getting nominated for.
Yeah.
But actual feature-length film part?
But, I mean, here's the question, though, is would it be considered an animated film? Because then you get into movies like War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Which has the heart to win an Oscar.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think Andy Serkis got robbed for not winning, or at least being nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Caesar.
But
that was one of the greatest performances I've seen.
But he wasn't the one playing it.
Yeah.
Like that's the weird role that we're moving to.
Yeah.
Is how do you consider these movies like The Lion King, Planet of the Apes, Ready Player One, Avatar.
I was like, what's the blue one that I don't like? I dislike that movie so much.
The new Lion King that's coming out next year.
Yeah, Jungle Book and the new Lion King that's coming out next year. Yeah, that's what we're at. Yeah, I'm with you because it's like we're blurring a weird line
because they're not animated.
No.
They're clearly not animated, but they're also not live action.
They're not logistic. They are logistically live action.
They are shot to be live action, and they typically have some cast that is live action.
Yes, like everyone watching the behind the scenes stuff of the Jungle Book, which I didn't like. I mean, Mowgli obviously was a boy, and they had characters there, like in the gray suits. The people there in the green suits. Green, gray, whatever. But they were there, so he knew what to react to and not just a tennis ball.
Yeah. Or like the behind the scenes for Alice in Wonderland, which is so much CG.
Yeah.
The newer one.
Yeah, absolutely. Where it's, everything's CG minus Alice is the only thing that's not CG. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
Maybe Johnny Depp, I don't know. He's crazy enough that he's
in
probably
the second
not.
In the second one, there are a lot of facial features that are CG.
See, so it's very
and like the Tweedles too.
Yeah, the Tweedles. Okay, here we go. The motion animation must figure in no less than 75% of the picture's running time. In addition, a narrative animated film must have a significant number of major characters animated. And this is the rule that states what by the Academy of Motion Picture Art and Sciences.
Yeah.
What dictates an animated movie. And we can say, without doubt, there is 75+% of animation going through Ready Player One.
Yes.
So
I'm just trying to think of how much is in the real world too, because they do go back and forth.
They go back and forth, but they
do go back and forth. There are still CG elements in the real life, though.
Yeah, but that one, when I think about that one, because Titanic, a lot of it was CG, but it won Best Picture as a full. So, like, to me, it's the worlds when Wade is actually not Artemis, Parzival. I think that's where, like, because you're right, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
but I would venture to say 20 minutes of it is in the real world.
Yeah.
So you have over 75% of it being in a digital landscape, animated to a certain extent animated, but they're being mocapped. Yeah. For most of it. So like there's this weird line that like even though it is animated, it's also mocap. So what is?
So it's live action, but it's not.
It's live action, but it's not. Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like to me, an animated movie is going to be like Up Pixar does animated movies.
Pixar, yeah, Disney
DreamWorks
animation.
does animated.
Yes.
Disney animation. Like those all have a very specific style.
Yes.
Even anime.
Anime is a very
From Japan, that is still a form of animation.
Yes.
So like to get into Ready Player One or The Jungle Book, which are touted as live action.
Yes.
But they're not quite live action.
Yeah.
In this article from the Hollywood Reporter, if you want to submit your film as animated, then it says, if the picture is created in a cinematic style that could be mistaken for live action, the filmmaker must also submit information supporting how and why the picture is substantially a work of animation rather than live action. And
oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was just like, they're in a video game. A video game is animated. A video game is...
Yes.
But what?
But then you have animated movies like Wreck-It Ralph, which is in a video game, but it's clearly animated.
Ooh, good call on that one.
And honestly, I really like this new term that I found in this article. It's called virtual production.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that works so much better than live action or animated because it's in between.
It's a okay, all right. So
and like Avatar is not an animated movie, but it's not quite live action.
It's not
I can see it being put under virtual production. Because I mean, you've still got some mocap going on.
Yeah.
You still have the live action aesthetic.
Okay.
It's just everything is being put in virtually. And you still have some you might still have some characters that are real.
Yeah. So like I'm going to ask a question just to pose said question.
Uh-huh.
Where is the line that animation goes virtual production and virtual production goes live action? Where and I just thought about this. Like, where is that line? Because there's a lot of stuff in movies that are like not even mocap, but just digitally animated. To
me, the virtual production comes in with, say, how many of your major characters are actually virtual. Like Star Wars, most of the main characters are still human.
Yes.
If you go into Planet of the Apes, the main characters that they're focusing on are the apes. Those are virtual.
Okay.
Ready Player One, you have the real world, but then once they get into the Oasis, your main characters are virtual.
Okay.
In Avatar, you have humans, but then most of your main characters are virtual. So I think it's going to come down to setting up percentages if we're going towards what I think we are.
Yeah.
I think at some point the Oscars are going to need to start a new category.
For best virtual
production. I'm not sure that we have enough films for them to do that just yet.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to have to start looking at that. Because you're giving me a face.
No, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. But to me, because I actually agree with you to a certain extent, but I'm also looking at it from, well, that's what best special effects is for. For you to understand that I'm watching a live action movie and these effects are so good that I don't know that it's Andy Serkis in a mocap uniform.
Yes, but that does not honor the entire movie. Like, that's my problem with reducing them to to visual effects or sound editing or things like that. That does not honor the entire movie. That's just one aspect of the movie.
Now, right there, you just won me. Because we talked about this, and I was like, I need you to find something that will actually switch me, because I agree with they're gonna go to something, but we're diving into this weird realm of like what indie movies are considered now. There's not an actual price point of being under a budget and you're an indie movie. Like,
I thought there was.
Not technically, no. No. I mean, most of us will consider, like, there's some indie movies that are $10 million. Some are made off of 500,000. Yeah. Some are made off of 25 million. But it's the the art or the colors or the establishment concept of what that movie is.
And to me, that's going to be what differentiates visual production versus animated production is going to be the art style.
Yes. See, you
because
won
like
me.
Tintin is going to be animated.
But it's mocapped.
Yes, but it's not trying to be the physical world. It's not trying to be the physical world. It has a very specific art style. It is mocap, but it would not be a visual production because I know what it is. What it is. Right. To me, it's going to be for visual production. In the movie, you need to have some real life humans and you need to have some major characters that are virtual.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be that blend.
Okay, so you're looking at percentage wise in a movie.
I mean, it's going to come down to percentages. Yeah. That's why they have the Academy. They have a lot of rules.
Yeah. I'm with you now on the sense of it doesn't encapsulate the whole movie as a whole for like Ready Player One. Like if there was a visual, what's it called again? Not a
virtual
production. I could see that as it does the story. It honors the motion capture. It honors the artists and the digital artists that are doing that stuff.
It honors the actors.
And honors the act. You're right.
The actors, the directors, the writers. Like to get a best picture or to get a best animated picture, even it honors the entire work.
Valid. Okay. All right. You won me on that. I will give you that one because you're right. Because I just won't. Well, and I use Andy Serkis because that's the easiest one for us to fight for a best supporting actor nomination. That's an easy one. But if Planet of the Apes this past year actually won, did it win? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Won best.
You're the one that made all the good predictions. I did make you should remember this.
Yeah, that's true. I should remember this. I swept, baby. No,
he did.
Yeah, if it was that one and they won best special effects, that doesn't encapsulate Andy Serkis and his voice and his mannerisms. They just copied.
Those are the artists that transformed him into the virtual production.
Dang, I will admit you beat me. I was like, I got you. I know how to play this. And right when you said like it just covers the whole movie as a whole of what it is, I was like, crap, I can't beat that. There's no way around that in my right now. But you're right. Yeah, I think that would be very interesting for the Academy or just to differentiate and have that extra genre.
Yeah.
Like it's a digital production horror. It's a digital production pretty much going to be sci-fi. Let's be honest. It's going to mostly be sci-fi movies. I could see it doing some superhero movies, but most of that stuff is actually still live people. I'm going through the MCU in my head, trying to figure out someone.
I think it's going to take a while before this art style really starts catching on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Maybe it's too big budget and the Academy is going to ignore it.
Is also that too.
Is very possible because they don't typically go with big budget movies because the Academy was made for smaller movies.
Smaller stuff.
That's why we see so many movies that never actually make it.
What about where would you put Justice League? That's the first one that popped in my head because Steppenwolf, I don't know if he was motion captured, but he was digital. We can tell.
Which one is Steppenwolf?
What?
Which one is Steppenwolf?
He was the bad guy. He was the bad guy in Justice League. Because everyone else is real, but Steppenwolf, the bad guy, one of the main characters.
Is he a main character?
He's the bad guy. I would put him in a main character.
Wait. Was he in Justice League.
Justice League, yeah.
Oh, I'm getting all the DC movies confused in my head. I was thinking Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we don't talk about that movie either.
Yeah, I understand.
No, like the main bad guy in the Justice League. Like,
but he's not the main character.
He's the main antagonist.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm literally trying to think of not holes, but just you're right. There's got to be a defining concept.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's up to smarter people to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know.
It'd be cool though. I'm with you because I think movies like that do deserve their due.
Yeah.
I mean, if they win the box office, that's great.
Yeah.
But something a little more in depth, because visually, Ready Player One is fantastic. It's stunning of what they did. And
they did a fantastic job. They put emotion into these completely digital characters.
Yes.
And
I agree. Like, special effects, while it would be nice if they do even get nominated, I do like your idea of, well, we want to honor them in the sense of the actors, Spielberg himself with the direction and the writing of Ernest Cline, just all of it. You know what? I give that to you. I give you that point on that's a genius idea to do it that way, because that's what it's about. It's from top to bottom. Everyone that worked on this movie, that's what we're celebrating. That's
what you celebrate with the foreign film, with the best short, with the best documentary. It's the film as a whole.
As a whole. Okay. All right. You know what? You win. I will concede, because that's legitimately, that would be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So.
And again, this is assuming that they even decide to make this a category.
Yeah. But it would be kind of cool to see that, because then you'd open it up to.
I think it would be so cool.
More movies and more people checking out movies.
Exactly.
That they normally wouldn't check out.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, that's what you really kind of need.
Me too.
More people back in the seats of theaters. And
honestly, it's going to be a high percentage that needs to be virtual.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
it's almost 75% needs to be virtual.
Yeah. So, yeah, something like that. That'd be really cool.
Something really high.
I'm on that.
And not just the backgrounds, because I know that there are plenty of backgrounds and like ancillary characters who are digital right now.
Yeah. Or yeah, but you're absolutely right. But
I'm talking about like main focuses of the movie. Main focus.
Okay. All right. I agree. Actually, I do agree.
Yay! I won.
You won. I was impressed. I didn't really prepare to actually fight you.
I didn't either.
But I was like, I know I could probably pull this apart. I just got to find the right thing. And no, you saying that almost locks it down. I know.
Yeah.
And it'll be
at least for us.
Yeah. It'll be like the Steppenwolf concept, or what percentages, and I'm like, I don't give a crap about the percentage now. I mean,
you know a virtual production when you see one.
You really do. Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, and you're right.
Because like Star Wars, no.
And that's the thing. You kept on saying Avatar, and I'm like, I will show you like the scenes of them in a jungle, or at least where they had a lot of props and then put the screen behind them that made the world a little bit more. So Avatar to me is a little iffy, but I understand what you're saying behind that.
I feel like the second Avatar is going to get into it.
God, yes. That second Avatar is going to be just nothing.
Yes, and yes, there is a second Avatar.
And a third, and a fourth, and a fifth.
Let's not talk about it.
And a sixth.
Let's not talk about it.
I think Ubisoft's making an Avatar game. Is it Ubisoft? I don't remember. Someone's making an Avatar game. I thought that was weird. Well, you know what? That's it for this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm kind of done. Actually, it's really hot in here. I'm tired. So
it's been a long day.
Leave us a comment, a like on
wherever you're listening to us on.
Exactly. I don't remember right off the top of my head the ones we're on right now.
We're on Stitcher, Buzzsprout, Google Play, and I think we're going to start iTunes.
I think we should be on iTunes by now.
By now we should be on iTunes.
Maybe even Spotify. I saw that one we could be on, so I might look into Spotify.
We should.
Follow us on the interwebs, on social media. We're on Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram,
and Vero.
That one. Also, just subscribe to us here on YouTube, because this podcast is on YouTube, and watch us play some other stuff and do some other stupid things. And you know what? Don't forget.
Always level up.
See you next week.
Bye.